What is up, nerds? We went to Houston. We played in a tournament. We promised that we would do an in-person podcast. That didn't happen. Well, the in-person podcast part, as you can see here. We'll get into more of that later in this episode, but today is going to be a little bit less nerdy than our usual episodes. But rest assured, next episode we're going to get crazy nerdy, so calm down.
Straight back to Nerd Town. This is a vacation from Nerd Town, so if you're only here for the Nerd Town, maybe skip to next week. I don't know. This will be a little bit of a recap.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get into the tournament, we got a few things to talk about. Number one, finally, we have a sponsor for this episode.
This is news to me, by the way.
Pickleball Effect sent us some of their tungsten tape. I hit Braden up. I was like, bro, we talk about your tungsten tape in like every episode. When are you going to give us a discount code? And I was just joking about that, Yeah. And he was like, oh, I need to send you some. I was like, I mean, you don't have to. I'll buy it. But also, here's my address, and you can send it to me as often as possible.
So what you mean to say is that we're sponsoring him. He's not sponsoring us.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. Which is, that's how it goes. If you want to be sponsored by the Pickleball Pursuit podcast, you just let us know. We'll plug you. We'll plug you hard.
That stuff is good, though. It deserves the... It deserves all the credit. The tungsten tape. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, moving on here. So Braden sent over a little care package. He sent over 4 packs of tungsten tape. The 1 gram per square inch, 1 gram per inch, and then the 0.5 gram per inch lead tape. I'm actually looking forward to that. I said lead. Tungsten. I have not utilized any 0.5 gram per inch tungsten weighted tape, so I'm excited to see how that would work. But so speaking of more paddle related things, I have a pretty extensive queue right now. It's kind of getting out of hand. Fortunately, half of the paddles that are sent to me, I don't promise them a review. So fair. If they are not that great, obviously I will not be reviewing them, but I will at the very least talk about every paddle that I test in some form or fashion on the podcast, even if it is not the best paddle, but something you may be interested in and may somehow fit the need of a very specific player. But we're going to talk about some really good paddles that I have currently in the review queue. The first being the Grooven Laser series, so the 16S and the 16X. So excellent paddles. Grooven genuinely is one of the better, more underrated pickleball companies.
Super under the radar.
They have tons of shapes. Although most of them are just kind of different iterations of elongated paddles. They have one of the most interesting standard shape paddles around, which is the Movin 16 and 13S. They have, in my opinion, the best elongated handle, elongated shape paddle in the 16H. The J7K and J7K Pro, I would say, are not in that same category because they're a little bit longer and a little bit thinner in terms of width. But Grooven, underrated. If that's any insight on what you can expect for the review, I will say that their paddles are consistently good. So expect a great review about those 2 paddles.
2 questions
after that,
before you move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or this isn't even a question, but I was just going to tell you, I don't even think you knew this, that the Grooven 13S, I mained that paddle for months. 4 months, maybe 3 months.
You mained that for months?
That was probably the longest I've mained any paddle, was the 13S. I really love that paddle.
That's a light paddle.
Well, of course I weighted it up, but... Yeah. And then eventually did a little, illegal activities and added an extra 1/4 inch to the handle. Then it was perfect. So...
Well, you're going to like this 16S laser because it is slightly longer.
Oh, nice. Okay, next thing though, real quick. I wanted to ask you this because it was pertinent to what you said. What do you call the shape that is longer and thinner than an elongated shape? So like 16.5 plus and thinner than 7.5.
I just call it an extra elongated paddle. Okay. Yeah, I know some people call them like blades, which personally I hate.
You do?
Yeah, I think that's like the worst name for a paddle shape. But I mean, I really think just 16.5 and above could probably be considered elongated. But obviously 16.5 inches is the standard or the
guideline.
The average.
Yeah, I know what you mean. What's like the difference between standard and wide body paddles? You know, it's usually like just
exactly
everything is. People ask this all the time. Actually, how much difference can a 1/4 inch make or an 1/8 inch make on a shape? And the answer is a lot. Like actually a lot.
A lot.
So yeah, I mean, and you probably know this.
To get a little nerdy real quick. To get a little nerdy, because you guys are probably craving it and just like foaming at the mouth. The shape mainly affects the sweet spot location. So elongated shape paddles have more oval and longer and taller sweet spots, and the sweet spot is generally up a little bit higher because there's more weight in the head. Wide bodies are a little bit more of a side oval because they are shorter and wider. And then hybrid shapes are kind of a little bit in between the two of those. So we're out of Nerd Town.
We had to go a little bit. I mean, come on.
Just had to touch it. Just a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, so was that the end of your questions?
No, I was just you know this, but I was gonna mention that, you know, when we're talking about extra elongated, it doesn't go above 17. That's the legal limit. So
yeah.
If anyone out there is like, why don't they make a 20-inch paddle? It's because 17 is the hard stop on paddling.
A 20-inch paddle would be pretty shit too.
It'll be bad. We call that shape the oar.
Like, the oar.
It's like a long thing.
Oh man, yeah, I would not want to play with that. So after the lasers, or potentially maybe right before the lasers, I'm not sure yet, will be the bread and butter Fat Boy. This is their wide body / standard shape paddle. It is a pretty solid control oriented paddle. I'll give you obviously more about it. Kevlar, very good looking, excellent branding as always, great design, and just a really solid performer. So be on the lookout for that. After, any questions, Justin, before I move on?
No, go ahead.
And then we're going to move on to the Mavericks hybrid shape paddle, which is the Clash Pro and all court. Again, 15 millimeters in thickness. These paddles are really good. So another excellent paddle that will be a really intriguing option for anybody who likes very aggressive hybrid shape paddles. So
a 15 millimeter core or a 15 millimeter overall?
15 millimeter core.
Interesting.
So kind of in between. Then we got some paddles that were sent to me. I'm not sure how these are going to perform yet. They are from Beatnik. Not the best name, but the Space Blade and the Air Blade. I don't really know what to think. I have not really hit these. I've bounced the ball on them, and be honest, I have very low expectations for these. But that obviously needs to be... Expectations can be changed completely and drastically once you play with paddles. So
what do they have
could be
against
interesting.
Nick anyway?
Yeah, why are they trying to beat up Nick? But these paddles literally feel like... you ever like rubbed your hand on the like sidewalk? You know?
Oh, that's weird.
Like
something all you
paved
do.
sidewalk. Well, or like your driveway. You know, when like you're playing with chalk. These literally feel like that, but like, you know, obviously not that drastic, but it's like sandpaper. So as you can... Very, very extremely gritty, but it is paint grit, so it'll probably last like 3 weeks. Could be wrong. Need to test it, obviously. Next, we have the Sweet Spot Pro from Enhanced Pickleball. If you feel like that name sounds familiar, that is because Enhanced Pickleball is one of the largest, instructional content, would you call it that? For pickleball. Sure. I actually used to watch these guys, not really like on purpose. It just kind of, when I started playing pickleball, I used to always see their videos and watch them and learn from them. So have a little bit of a soft spot for them. And Connor, reached out to me and wanted me to test this and review it. I told him I definitely would check it out. And if it's a great paddle, I'll go ahead and review it. So Sweet Spot Pro, this just kind of hit around a little bit in my house with it. Feels like an extremely soft elongated shape paddle. So very interesting. Not something you see too often, but just your typical thermoformed raw carbon fiber Gen 2 elongated paddle, and I think it's like $120 after discount code, so it's a very competitive price, and it's pretty premium feeling. So interested to see how that one plays. And then lastly, in this very long, extensive queue, I hope I'm not going to get in trouble for showing this, but I don't think I will.
Might have to blur it.
Yeah. This is the Rhombus R2 Nova. Standard shape paddle from Rhombus in the Nova line. So I'm expecting this to be an ultra control-oriented paddle.
People have been asking for this forever.
Yeah, and the grit is very fine, but it feels
that's like the Rhombus
phenomenal.
Grit. Isn't that the same as the FX R2?
It feels a little bit more like it has a tiny bit more bite to it, but very much the same super fine grit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is the extensive queue. There are more paddles on the way, and I'm behind.
You better get to work. Stop playing tournaments.
I need to get to work. Well, the tournament. Jesus.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the tournament, guys. So, went to Houston on Friday, met Justin.
It was love at first sight.
Smashing, pretty much, yeah. I was smashing some birria tacos, had birria consomme all over my hands, so I just hit him with a little elbow. He shockingly was not weirded out by that. And we just carried on talking like we talk on the podcast, and we literally talked about pickleball for 48 hours, basically. Yeah. But so Friday, we show up, and we're like, all right, let's go play open play. Because
tournament's Saturday, by the way. So we're like, we never played together. Let's go try to get some games. I had asked some people in Houston where are the best competitive games, and they told us to go to Pace, which is a very awesome facility, by the way. Incredible facility.
Man.
And have a challenge court.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 would give Pace their
that facility
rating.
Yeah, it was super nice. Oh, yeah, it was incredible.
They had this softer surface, so it was slightly cushioned. Yeah, okay. Cushion X surface, and the ball bounced exactly how I was expecting. I didn't even know that it was a cushion court until after the first or second game. Some guy told us that it was like that cushion court, and I was like, dang, seriously? That's crazy.
Yeah, you put your hand down at one point, and you were like, what the?
When you I literally somebody hit a little net cord dribbler, and I reached out to grab it and hit it over and put my hand down. I was like, whoa, this is soft. I didn't feel like I was about to break my wrist.
No, it was very cool. Because when you were playing, I didn't notice it at all. Like you said, the ball bounced normal. The only thing I noticed is you couldn't slide, which it was very grippy because it was kind of soft. Your feet would dig in. You go to slide, you would just grip, which a lot of people I think
you're just a little slider. A little slider.
Yeah.
Well, we get to Pace, and we're about to play a game.
First game
and
ever.
Immediately, this guy named Nathan, who we're about to play, he goes, wait a second. Are you Pickleball Pursuit? And I started cracking. I was like, yeah, I'm Pickleball Pursuit. And he's like, I've watched some of your videos.
I'm like, this guy's famous.
Turns out,
first person.
Yeah, turns out, turns out he's making his own paddles, which is interesting. Can't remember what he was going to call the name brand, but
Paddle
anyway.
Co. with a K.
Paddle Co. with a K. There you go. Dang, great memory, man. So, Justin, we're going to get into that game because Nathan, I don't know what the right word is.
He was like chill and nice, very kind.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he was just like so under the radar. Like, not, you didn't think he was about to just hammer some massive drives. And the first serve, he literally aced Justin.
Yeah, fully aced. I didn't even touch
it. Yeah, the ball bounced twice before you even like moved almost.
Yeah, it did. It was not like, it was so powerful that it aced me. It was like a angled short corner drive that bounced about this high and just went doo-doo-doo and just skipped across. It probably bounced 3 or 4 times before I even got to it. I was like, what? So that was our introduction. Go out to the first game, and I just get aced right away. And I'm like, oh God. And then,
but don't worry, guys. It gets worse.
Exactly. Then we continue to play, and the game ends up 10-0-2. As in, we're losing 0-10. So I turned to Lewis and I said, dude, we literally can't get pickled on our first game. Like, that's not allowed. We'll have to quit the podcast. We might have to quit pickleball, so.
Yeah, we're going home if we get pickled.
So, lucky for us, they tried to ace me again and dumped one in the net. Thank God. So, we got 1 point. All right. We lost 11-1, which is pretty embarrassing. But to be honest, bad. It was all Lewis's fault. He played like crap.
Come on, man. No way. I played bad. Yeah, it was my fault. It was pop-up city, man. I was a little worried, to be honest. We were about to play a tournament because that first game, even you said it afterwards, that was probably the worst you played all weekend was that first game. And specifically, Nathan hits the ball very hard, and Lewis was popping him up and just getting me killed. So I was like, oh no, this is what I'm in for. But he turned it on. Probably one of my best strengths. Yeah, I did turn it on. That probably was one of the worst games I've had in like the last month or two.
It was pretty funny,
even like ever. It was bad. Yeah, great story. Now
it was a good sign. I think we stayed positive. Anyway, we kept playing in challenge court. There weren't that many teams rotating, so we'd only have to sit out, for one game at a time, pretty much. And then we played pretty well. We won quite a few, won more than we lost.
Yeah,
and then I started.
We were on like a 4-game win streak for a second there.
Yeah. Then at the end of the night, I started playing crap, and then you played great, and we lost the very last game, which was a good game. But
it was a good game.
It happens,
Everybody was super nice, which was that's just kind of how pickleball is. But I mean, like even in the tournament, which we'll get into more, like every single team we played was chill, fun, and like not anybody who's like trying to be a dickhead, for a lack of a
final team was kind of intense during the game. They were cool after.
They were cool after. I'll share some things that happened during the game that made me know that they were like all super nice. But we'll get into that. So what were you thinking after the first day? Were you like, oh shit, this is bad?
After the complete first day, I think it was fine. I think you and I both had a lot of fun. It was good, like, I don't know, just hanging out like we had been friends for a while. And what we had said, which was pretty cool, is that there wasn't any like partner communication. I felt like I knew exactly what to expect from you or where you were going to be or which ball you were going to take. And I think it was probably true the other way around. So for me, I didn't really care about win or lose on that first day. I was just trying to figure out, okay, let's figure out our spacing. Let's figure out our strategy or chemistry, And I think that was solid.
We do have great chemistry.
I think that was solid. So I felt good.
Your wife.
Yeah, my wife tells me all the time, you guys have great chemistry. And we've had quite a few comments about our chemistry.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But anyway. So, no, I felt good going into the tournament. So.
Yeah, I did too. I was pleasantly surprised at how easy it was to play with you. There's just for whatever reason, there's always one or two players who you just cannot gel with, no matter what. Definitely. No matter what it is.
Players. I know what you mean.
Yes. Yeah. And it's just how it is, man. It's just part of, styles make matchups,
Yeah.
The different play styles cannot be always meshed together. So you guys see that in the pro level, I mean, I hate to compare them to us because we're just way better. But
all right, let's get into
you just see that in the pro. All right, so
I'm ready to go there.
Before we talk about the tournament, we're just going to play you guys a little video. So this pretty much sums up.
Yeah.
This
is every bit of 1 minute and 49 seconds. Perfect explanation of how the tournament went.
Yes, and if you are on mobile and you are listening to this, you might want to skip ahead 1 minute and 49 seconds from now. Or you can just listen to us reacting to it. So, here we go.
There's a couple home runs. I said last podcast that haunted me. We'll get into that a little bit. We really should have won this game. Very nice guys, but we really should have. That's how I was feeling. That was our timeout, by the way.
Oh, that's my favorite shot. That's my favorite shot.
Worst game we played in a while.
Oh, not good. A little dump in the net. A little whiff.
You know what's funny about this? I showed somebody, and you know what he said? He goes, you know what's hilarious? You guys make the exact same mistakes. If you watch the video back, it's true. We're like...
that is true. Except you don't speed up into the net.
Well, count the flicks. I don't know. Or those speed ups.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is worse than I remember.
Yeah.
Oh no, not this game.
It's actually not worse than I remember. This game was brutal. Like, this doesn't even show how bad it truly was. This is the best play on the video. Oh man.
Oh man. Oh boy.
Here we go, making the same mistakes.
Mile out. Ugh, that's depressing. Oh yeah.
What a great way. That's the final point, by the way. What a great way to end our tournament.
Oh, no, man. That was absolutely devastating. Yeah. Devastating.
Well. So we didn't record the first game, which was actually a solid game. So that you didn't see anything on that. But we went in and... do you want to just go into the games or you want to talk about the tournament first? Like, the organization and how we got there.
Yeah, let's talk real quick about the tournament. But obviously, we did not medal. And Maddie Rutledge said, I had to go blue.
Oh, yeah. Here you are, Matt. He said, if we don't medal, Lewis had to go for a blue light, and I had to go a full cue ball on the podcast. So this is for you.
We are honoring our viewers' requests. As much as it does not feel good to do it, we're going to do it for you guys.
So, as you're setting that up, I'll kind of start with this. So here's the deal with the tournament, and I'll just give you the quick rundown. Our bracket was supposed to start at 4 p.m. on Saturday. So Lewis and I get there about 3:15. We're like, cool, we'll stretch and like get ready and just get in the zone. We wait until about 4:30, and then I'm like, man, what's going on? So went up to the tournament desk. Look at you in the blue light, looking totally different.
I just realized I had my camera off for I changed it to blue 30 seconds ago.
I know, I figured, but that's okay.
Way before, but yeah.
The tournament desk, they said another hour and a half. So that means 6 p.m., right? And our break was supposed to start at 4. We were like, God. So we're like, this is going to run late. Let's just go get some food. So we left. We got a bomb acai bowl. That was so good, by the way.
Yeah, that was balling. Yeah, I can't believe you've never had acai, bro.
I know, right? It was delicious.
That's a vegan sin right there.
Perfect tournament food. So it was awesome. So we get back to the facility a little bit before 6 because they said, okay, we'll start at 6. Nope. Our first game was at 7:10?
Yeah, it was 7:10 or basically 7 on the dot.
Yeah, maybe a touch after 7. So that's 3 hours late, right? And then we had been there since almost 3, so we had kind of been there and back for 4 hours. The place is, by the way, packed. So there's not really too many comfortable places to sit. Anyway, we're just okay, we're kind of out of it. A lot of people are frustrated. And then the most frustrating part to me was that they changed all the rounds to 1 game to 11, win by 1. which is brutal. Like if you're already cold, you've been sitting for hours, and then also pickleball is kind of a strategy game, right? So how can you establish a strategy and then enact it within one game to 11, win by one? So that sucked.
Yeah, so real quick to give y'all the behind-the-scenes reasoning, there was a 3-5 tournament that started at noon, or was supposed to start at noon, and the place was supposed to have 24 courts available.
Right.
They only had 8. They did not have the remaining, 16?
Yep.
They did not have the remaining teams 16 finished. Yeah, 34 teams.
In 3-5, and 34 in ours, too.
34? I thought 3-5 had 2 more.
Okay. It did for a while, but they both ended up at 34.
Yeah, so imagine 70 teams sharing 8 courts. In addition to women's 3-5 that had like 20?
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah. So it was a mess.
And it was unbelievable. So, shall we get into our first game?
Yeah. So
all right.
I was a little nervous, but not too bad. You had been saying that you were nervous, but I think actually us waiting forever kind of just made us pissed instead of nervous.
Yeah.
So
no, they called our name
like,
Justin and Lewis, and my heart started racing.
No, and what did they call you? Luis, remember?
Oh, yeah, Luis. I said, you can call me whatever you want as long as we play.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But, yeah, we went out there, and we had seen these guys warming up earlier in the day. They were pretty good. Definitely ex-tennis players, young guys, 20-something, athletic, and, just a lot of topspin. They look pretty good. And I was like, oh, we got a challenge. I didn't necessarily feel super confident. Well, we actually came out hot, went up 5-0 quick, and with some good shots.
Ass.
I wish we would have recorded that game.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. It was a great start.
The issue, Willie, I thought about it, but I was like, I'm too nervous to think about this. And number 2, I don't want to waste any more time. I want to play. I'm ready to go play.
Yeah,
I don't want to fiddle around with a camera for, 3 or 4 minutes when I should be warming up. But yeah, so we went up 5-0. We kind of fell behind on a few sides, and we were playing good, man. We really were. We just were not finishing. They got every single shot back.
Young, athletic guys, great movers.
Yeah. There was a point where I had 4 or 5 overheads in a row, and they got them all back. How did we lose that point? Did I hit it out? Do you remember that one?
Probably. Or I hit an overhead to the net. You never know with us.
Probably that one.
Everyone just saw us and they're like, just lob to these guys.
Yeah, lob these tall, lanky dudes for...
Actually, Lewis's overheads were pretty hard. Mine are just trash. But yeah, so by the way, we ended up losing 11-6. So after going up 5-0, they came back. And I think they shook off their nerves too, and they ended up winning 11-1, which I didn't really... that was a bummer. But then I watched them for the rest of the tournament, and they made it pretty deep. Players. They were good. They were good, so I didn't really feel too horrible about it.
We certainly could have beaten them, for sure. But I think they probably, what do you think? If we played them 10 times, they probably win 6 or 7 times.
Yeah. Then we wait an hour and 40 minutes after the first round. Before our second round. An hour and 40 minutes. So if you're keeping track, now it's 9-something p.m. So before our second round. And then we played a game that you saw some of the highlights or lowlights from, in that video, and we should have won that game, y'all. That one's gonna haunt me.
Game 2 was brutal, guys.
We should have won that game.
Zach and Mitch, if you guys are watching this, we really enjoyed playing with you guys. Y'all are great players, and we are not trying to say that y'all are any lesser of players, but we just made a lot of mistakes that tournament. That game. We probably hit 7, as you can see, at the very least 7 winners into the net.
Straight into the net.
I earned on the first point and faulted.
I didn't want to put it in the video because people might be confused and think it was a good shot. But let me tell you guys what Lewis did. I'm going to start calling you Clueless Lewis.
Come on,
we set up a perfect Ernie, and he's on the left. Well, he jumped so early that the dude thinks it back, and Lewis just reaches over the net onto the opposing side and just smacks it down into the ground. So he's his body is well over the net. He hit it on their side of the net and everything, and they were like, "Ooh, I don't." I'm
pretty much in their kitchen, basically.
Yeah.
That's how long it took for him to get his dink over my side as I jumped the kitchen.
Yes, illegal. You can't hit the ball across the plane of the net. So
I'm fast. I'm fast as fuck, bro.
That was the first point too, but I was still feeling good about it. I was like, yeah, we got these guys.
Yeah.
You know, we set up the Ernie. Yeah, and
they were so nice about it too.
Super nice. They were like, ooh,
I think Zach, what's his name? Yeah. He was like, ooh, And like, I am like the last person that's going to argue with anybody over a call, especially in a tournament, because like no one wants anybody to argue with them in a tournament because it's just like a high stress environment. And like, I could tell he was like, shit, like I don't want to say something, but I know I'm right. Yeah. So it was hilarious. Probably like the nicest people we've ever played with.
But you know what? Yeah, they were awesome, and you know that shows that how important consistency is, because they weren't flashy, right? They weren't even like that offensive, I guess you could say. But they in that game were clearly more consistent than us, and they beat us fair and square. Yeah. Like we may have had more weapons, but on the montage you saw me hit.
They didn't mess up.
What I said on the last pod was my strength. A hard backhand flip directly into the tape in the same spot 3 times in a row. So that felt really bad. Not only did you do that
in the tournament, you did that on Friday as well.
Dude, it was, for some reason, my backhand flick was just 2 inches too low on every shot. Just bang, right in the tape, right in the tape, right in the tape, right in the tape. So
you were consistent, man.
Yeah, it was
very consistent with that shot.
So
consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, that game. Yeah. Good job to those guys. We felt like we should have taken that one.
What was it? 11-8, 11-9?
11-9, yeah.
11-9, yeah. It was a very close game. Yeah, I think weren't we up 9-6 at one point?
They were up 9-6.
They were up 9-6? Oh, yeah, we came back. That's the game we came back. Yeah.
Same game. The next game. So then the next game, the same thing happens. We actually go down 0-3. Then we make a good run comeback. We were playing pretty well in this game, I thought. And this team, by the way, I think is probably better than the team we just lost to. Mm-hmm. So we go down 0-3, we make a little run, come back, and then they go up 9-6. And remember, it's 1 by 1, so it's like touchy. And then we get to 9-9, and it was pretty good. I had a sweet Ernie, but I got 1 Ernie, so I feel like it's a win, and it was totally legal.
Yeah.
So so that felt good.
Body bagged the dude, one of the guys in the nuts, and his partner goes, "Oh, nuts!"
Yeah, that's on the video. We actually body bagged them 3 times that game, because remember at the end I hit the dude in front of me just in the arm, and you hit the guy in front of you like in the leg or the arm too. Yeah, balls that were clearly out, by the way. So not like great job by us or anything, but so then it got to 9-9. I feel like we actually kind of clutched up. They were unstacked, and it was a lefty righty, so we just kind of like hard attacked the middle, and it worked super well. And there was actually some decent highlights on that game, and we ended up winning 11-9. So that felt pretty good. By the way, that's the only game that they haven't uploaded to our dupers. They uploaded all of our losses and
I guess
didn't upload
maybe
our
they
win.
Don't have a duper. Maybe both of them don't have a duper account.
You had to have one to get the tournament.
Yeah. I don't know why that is, but not a big deal. I mean, I'm sure our duper will go up 0.002. So we'll get a huge kick from that.
I don't know what their dupers were, but anyway, they were decent players, and they were fun to play with. Cool guys. Basically, everybody was good to play with. And then the weights were getting shorter because now people are getting eliminated. Yeah. And it's a triple elimination tournament. It's another reason why I was running so late. So lucky for us, we had lost twice, but we were still in it. And then we went on to our last game.
Game 4, baby. Let me get this one.
Go ahead, please.
All right. I got this. Game 4. We're playing this older, he's probably like 50 years old, left-handed dude. He's probably, I don't know, 7'8" minimum.
He's like maybe 6'2".
No, he was probably my height or a little bit taller. And we're playing this like shorter, stocky guy. When I tell you these are the best players that I've ever played against, and not necessarily like skill-wise, just the team aspect.
They had perfect
they were
chemistry and strategy.
Unbelievable. And after the game, I was like, who the hell beat y'all?
Like, because they had lost twice, by the way, to get to that point.
Yeah. But, so, to go back to the game, we start, he hits a massive serve. I think you hit it into the ground, right? Was that the first serve of the game?
No. The first 2 points of the game were just massive drives, one off the tip of my paddle and one off the tip of your paddle. Yeah. And then a hard serve that I just missed because it bounced funky, but yeah.
Yeah, so they go up, what, like 5-0?
6-0 immediately because you changed side at 6. Then he had another hard drive, and you're like, I got this one. You block that one back. Partner comes, shake and bake, just slams it in our face. So it was like the fastest 6-0 you've ever seen. And they were like, okay, swap sides. And we're like, oh, my God, what happened?
Yeah. But I forgot to say this. As soon as we switch... No, the first point of the game, my calf cramps up.
Oh, yeah.
And I was telling you, that day, I was like, I never get cramps. I never get cramps. Never happens to me. I get a cramp in my calf immediately. Nothing, it wasn't bad. Like, I could continue to play, not a big deal, but it was just like tightening up when I would do a couple things. And on that missed overhead, it like tightened up real bad. And I probably could have got to it, but like, I was so discombobulated by
that was embarrassing. Look, we had figured out over the day that I was right and my overheads are bad and that Lewis's overheads were pretty good. So you'll see on the video, it comes to me, I'm going to hit it, but I hear him say me. So I'm like, oh God, I try to duck down. But then I guess his calf cramps up too. So then he just shanks it in the net. And we're both just like, meh, do like a little jumps. It was embarrassing, but it was kind of a little microcosm of our day.
So the reason why I know that team was super nice as well is because immediately I go and stretch my calf and I see the older guy like look at me and he's like, you good? He was like this, I don't know where he was from, but he had like a little bit of an accent. He looked like he's been through some stuff, man. He looked like he's been through some stuff. Like maybe he used to be like
honestly, he put us through some stuff.
Secret Service type thing. Yeah, he did. Good God.
That guy was good. By the way, we looked him up. His singles duper 4.76. So he's a good player.
Yeah.
He ripping drives.
Yeah, dude could hit massive drives. Yeah. But yeah, he was super nice about it. And then after the game, he was like, you need to drink some vinegar and something else. I was like, I just drank some electrolytes. But so we're down, 7-0. We get into a bunch of really good points, like really good points.
A lot of side outs, yeah.
Win them all. They win all the points.
Dude's hands were ridiculous, by the way. The other guy, his partner.
Oh, my God.
I had some, like, pretty good hands battles that I feel like I would win 90% of the time. He didn't care.
Yeah, you had this hands battles against him where you had 3 shots in a row that he had to hit up on the ball, and he still beat you.
Yeah, I know. It was embarrassing. Yeah. But I didn't feel like I hit bad shots, to be honest.
No, none of your shots were bad. They were great. He just got everything back, and then the last one, he somehow just, like, got to flick over it, even though he was kind of hitting up at it.
But yeah, it kissed the net and went right over my paddle. But yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it kissed the net. Okay. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Because I was like, how the hell did you lose that? You were like so ahead.
Like, slam, 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 3 in a row. Yeah. And then on the third one, he kind of flicks it pretty hard, but from low, and it just kissed the net and went right over my paddle and into the corner. And I was like, oh my God.
We got into a couple like longer kitchen exchanges, dinking around and whatnot. And I think we should have, hindsight's always 20/20. I really do think we should have targeted the taller lefty at the kitchen, because
he was just
that
scary.
Shorter guy was just yeah. But the other guy was just solid, steady rock. And we were down 10-02 again. And I looked at Justin, I was like, I'm not fucking getting pickled. Let's go. And they dump one in the net.
No, well, they didn't just dump it in the net. You hit an amazing drop. That's what happened. We were down 0-10 too. He was serving, and he had like a really good drop. Like a little topspin drop right at the guy, like landed right on top of the guy's feet, and he tried to just bump it back over, and it just hit the net. But that was a pressure drop, and that was a good drop. It might have been like one of your best of the day because it had a lot of pace on it and a lot of topspin. So yeah, we scored 1 point. Okay,
we scored a point. It was amazing.
And then we're out of the tournament. That's it. And it was like 11 p.m. We had
that.
Barely played. It was waited for so long. And because all the games were only 2 games to 11, so they're so fast. You feel like you spent all day not playing pickleball. So it was a shame.
Yeah, it was a shame. But apart from that game, every game was very competitive. I felt like we did not get like dominated or humiliated, or we played our game and competed. Apart from the last game, obviously, we got slapped.
Y'all, Lewis clearly enjoyed it, because then he messaged me today. He said he got the itch, and I was like, "Well, we can play another tournament." And then you know what he said to me? "Is Saturday too soon?" Yes. Yes, it's too soon. Let me lick my wounds. Jeez.
I'm playing in that tournament on Saturday, so Yeah. So yeah, I'm playing in another tournament on Saturday, 4-0 with my boy Richie. So yeah, we're gonna see what's going on. But so the tournament kind of sucked, but it also was kind of good, because like we were just like, look, let's at the very least we got to win one game.
We kept saying
we could have very easily won 2. And if we didn't make a few mistakes and those dudes weren't just gods at getting the ball back, we could have won 3. But mistakes were the key in all of our losses. So
whenever playing tournaments, you know what it makes me realize? If you want to be successful in a tournament, at a somewhat higher level, not that we're at a high level, you have to drill. You have to. It's the only way.
Got you.
Because I think our game plan was fine. Our shot choice was fine. Everything was good. The strategy was fine. We were doing all the right stuff. Just inconsistent. That's it. And if you just drill and got that consistency up, that would have changed a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
So
I feel like you're directing this at me because I said I've drilled like less than 10 times, bro.
I haven't been drilling recently at all. I need to get back into it. So,
all right. So last thing, this should be a really fun segment. We are going to rate each person's skills. So serve, return, drop, drive, blah blah blah.
This is gonna be funny too for those of you who watched the last episode.
This ought to be
episode. We talked about
good.
Our self-proclaimed strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. So we're gonna give a rating. For instance, what our serve was, if it was, between 2.5 and 5.0. So,
or 2.0. Am I rating you and you're rating me, or how are we doing that?
Yeah. So you're going to rate me. I'm going to rate you. So we'll start out with serve. What would you rate my serve?
4.0. It's fine. It was mostly consistent. He only missed a couple all day, but it wasn't winning any points.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would probably say the same.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I would say the same for yours. Your serve and my serve are very similar. We just get the damn ball in, and like we're not worried about trying to win or get ahead of that.
But it's not like a lob serve or anything. It has a little pace on it, but it's kind of just like a medium speed drive, pretty much.
Yeah. Yep. So we follow the mantra: every serve, every return, every third.
We did pretty good, except for on the thirds.
Yeah,
the serves and returns we did great, I think, honestly.
So. Yeah, I agree. All right, returns. What rating would you give my returns?
This is, like I was telling you, this is hard to rate without playing against you. But 3.5, 3.7.
Yeah.
The returns were consistent, but not always the most dangerous. Like your drives, your thirds are way more dangerous than your returns.
Yeah, my forehand return is much better than my backhand return. My backhand return's a little too loopy. So I would definitely agree. I would say your returns are easily 4.0. You keep your forehand drives with enough pace, but still enough height for you to get up. And then your backhand is a slice return, but you keep it very flat.
Yeah, I've been hitting actually flat, not even topspin, just flat a lot.
Yeah, so that is a mine's more of a looping slice. Yours is a very flat one, which is why I think you have better returns than me. So let's move on to drops.
Okay.
What do we got, man?
3.8.
That was my strength.
And it's just your backhand drop. It's because you had some really good topspin and forehand drops, but the backhand drop.
My backhand drop was trash. It
was not there.
It really was. That's honestly sometimes my more confident drop, which is crazy to think. But that makes sense. It was definitely 3.8 for sure at the tournament. I would say yours were about the same. 3.75, 3.8.
No, but same thing.
Has nothing to do with the fact that you hit one drop that didn't even make it to the net.
Hey.
Oh man, that one had me rolling. But no,
but the day before, remember how good they were on Friday?
Yes, they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Your backhand drop is real nice. It's super flat, and it's one of those ones where it's like in that annoying, do I take this out of the air and risk, kind of maybe giving a little too much height to this and them crashing and finishing, or do I just take a step back, take my medicine, and just put it into the kitchen? So, yeah, great backhand, but just
inconsistent
lack
on Saturday.
Consistency. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
all right, let's move on to drives.
Your drive, solid. 4.2, 4.3. Forehand drive. I didn't see you hit a backhand drive, so.
I don't.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you were on the left anyway, so it's like you would just run around everything.
I don't. I don't hit a backhand
but
drive.
We had quite a few successful shake and bake points off, like letting you drive, and now a crash.
Yeah, like I said, dude, I don't hit like a baby, I can kind of hit hard. I would say your drives, you undersold your drives. I would say your drives are easily like 3.8, 4.0, anywhere in there.
It was a good weekend for
you had a drive winner.
That's true. But that's their fault.
And
but yeah.
I baked off your shake, on one of those. So,
I just didn't hit him nearly as often. Man. I probably only hit like 6 all weekend, mostly drops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. But I think both of us were probably like 60. I was probably like 65% drop, 35% drive.
Maybe higher. But I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, I made some really bad choices on drives a couple times, which sucked. But yeah. I thought your drives were great, man.
Thanks.
You did awesome. You did awesome. Blocks. This one should be pretty interesting for me.
Oh, so this is blocks off of drive, not like a counter?
Yeah, blocks off of drives.
Well, I'm not hating on you because mine were bad too, but yours were pretty bad. Pretty bad.
They were
you had
horrible.
So many blocks long. Like a lot.
They were so bad.
3-0 on blocks.
3-0. Here's the thing. The mentality is 4-0, but the execution is 2-5.
Oh yeah, that's what you were saying. He was trying to attack every block and just hitting it way back out.
It was bad. They were all over the place. Yeah, they were horrible. Your blocks were slightly better. What did you give me? 3-0?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yours were easily 3-5. Easily 3-5.
Yeah, I had maybe the opposite. I wasn't aggressive enough. I was doing a lot of soft hand blocks, but they would go over, but they would let people. I had a couple though that were winners, off making a bounce slice, drop winners.
Yeah. All right, let's go with counters.
Your counter was good. There was quite a few times. I'll say 4 or 5 because it was hard. And the paddle you're playing with is so freaking loud, so it would surprise me. Someone would speed up, and then it would just be like, bang! Freaking super loud counter, and then it was point over. So, solid. I'm going to give you 4 or 5 on counters.
Yeah, my counters, like I said, that's one thing that I have been drastically trying to improve. And honestly, and this is not to brag or anything, but I was off that day because I was not anticipating the speed up as much as I normally do. I was kind of just locked in and play consistent, Lewis. Don't make mistakes. Those are my 2 thoughts at the kitchen line, rather than be ready for the speed up.
Yeah, I know. I told you at one point, I was like, dude, get more aggressive at the line. You were kind of stepping back and playing consistent, but stepping back and letting people get away with floater dinks, dead dinks a lot.
Yeah, but not saying that I would have a higher score on counters than what you gave me. I would just be a little bit more.
You do it more often.
I do it a little more often, yeah.
Yeah.
At the very same, really good. I appreciate that, man. Yours were, I would say, easily 4-0. Your counters were solid. You read the game really well in that sense. You don't have like the most powerful counter, but you're very consistent with that. Maybe 4 or 5. Honestly, now I think about it.
I was trying to be Mr. Right Side. I was resetting a lot of my. I wasn't actually countering a lot unless it was very obvious. I was actually just resetting a lot of speed ups.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Eat,
Yeah, gotta let the big dog eat, son. Let's move on to resets. You, honestly, I probably had like 4 or 5 resets the whole tournament. So,
and I had a lot. Your resets in the tournament. No, we're not talking about Friday. Okay. In the tournament, resets, you were like, I don't know, 3-7, 3-8.
They were
right. It wasn't horrible, but
yeah,
you did pop quite a few up that got me killed.
I did. I'll give a little bit of it to nervousness, but more so, it's just some days I'm inconsistent. Yeah. Some days that day was not a good. Yeah, was not a good reset
also
day.
Worth mentioning, they were switching. The balls were insane. They were all kinds of wonky, and we were switching different balls in different games. So it was so impossible to get dialed in.
They weren't balls; they were eggs and squares.
We played 3 games or 4 games, and we played with 3 different brands of ball. And of those, most of them were bad, except for the one game we talked to those guys, and they were like, "Hey, the balls are horrible. We hate them. We have a brand new Franklin. Do you want to play with that?" And we were like, "Yes." And that's the game we won.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So your resets were quite the contrary. They were very good. You had some ridiculous resets. I would say you were easily 4 or 5 with your resets.
Oh.
Easily.
That's progress for me.
You were not 4 or 5 with your resets on Friday.
No, Friday was bad. Okay.
But brother, you got it dialed in on Saturday. Excellent turnaround. All right, let's move on to dinks.
Your dinks were better than I expected. 4.0 plus, above 4.0.
Shit.
So
it was a good day. Yeah, it was a good day.
Yeah, because the way you talked about your backhand dink, I was a little nervous with you on the left. But dude, you got into a rhythm. You were actually really good at moving your feet and bending down and getting behind the ball. You didn't look like you were getting thrown off balance or caught off at all. And you had quite a few extended dink rallies on the left that were good. So 4-3, solid.
It was not a bad day. It was not a bad day for dink.
You didn't have an aggressive backhand dink because you only sliced. So that's why I say 4-3. If you had mixed in some more push dinks or topspin dinks, then it would easily be 4-5. But without the variety, 4-3.
My next big push for my pickleball game is implementing a 2-hand backhand dink and a 2-handed backhand drive and counter.
Reset?
Because I want to...
Backhand? Reset?
On resets, no. Resets, I'm more of a one-hander. But I have a very... I wouldn't say it's a very good... I have a good 2-handed backhand speed up and flick.
Okay.
But that is the only shot that I use 2 hands on. So it's if I put a second hand on the paddle, it's coming. It's he's speeding up or flicking it at me. So yeah, definitely a great spot there. None of my dinks are aggressive unless it's on the forehand side.
But they were reliable and unattackable. Your dinks.
That is true.
So that's good. They were good.
That is true. Sometimes they're unattackable. Your dinks were significantly better than mine. Yours were 4 or 5 easily because you are like my other partner, Richie, who's always thinking about where he's placing his dinks. I'm never really thinking too much about where I'm placing my dinks. I'm more just let me get this in a comfortable spot as far as placement rather than where should I place this to get them off balance and get ahead. Mm-hmm. I'm just more of a defensive but you are much, much better.
Thanks. Oh, shucks.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
all right, guys.
My time is coming. My time is coming, so.
We're moving on. Overheads.
Oh, God.
This, like I said, was my biggest weakness.
You undersold. Sorry. Sorry. Oof. You undersold yourself because you said that was one of your weaknesses. Overhead.
Yes.
However, you were smacking that thing. Like, y'all, he was hitting it hard. The first couple of games we played, I was like, dude, you hit freaking hard. Like, the ball, it's so loud. Most of them were unreturned. So I think actually you seem more comfortable in like this range, like kind of kill shot range, shoulder head, than like a true tennis overhead.
Yes.
Maybe you got a little less comfortable there.
I wouldn't even call that like an overhead. I'd call those like, put away or kill shots.
Well, we're just going to combine them for this. I would say your putaways are very good. Overheads were also fine. So 4-2.
Hell yeah, bro.
Okay. All right. Give it to me.
Hey Siri, what is the lowest pickleball rating possible? Oh, she didn't hear me. Overheads. Jesus Christ. Is there a 2-0?
Yes, there's 2-0, yeah. It's going to have to be a 2-0.
Yeah.
1.5.
1-3.
I tried to tell you, man.
Your overheads,
I tried to tell you.
Bro, were so bad.
So bad.
I want to tell you guys how bad his overheads are.
Really bad.
They were so bad that one time he had he on the kitchen line, the entire other team, both back at the baseline, huge lob, overhead. All he had to do was smash it. He goes, I don't want to smash this. I want to just drop it. He drops it into the kitchen. Somehow wins the point.
Won the point? I was so not unconfident that I did an overhand drop. Horrible. Yeah. I thought you were going to say the one before that, and this probably has to do with my confidence, where I was standing on the kitchen line, huge lob. I'm leaning in, smash directly into the net. So
yeah, middle of the net, not even
bad.
Like
okay, y'all, it's bad. You need to do some drills.
Yeah, that was brutal. So yeah, your overheads were way worse than mine, and it could have just been a bad day. And I definitely had a pretty good day, but
not a bad day, just bad.
Well, shit. One thing that you were not bad at all, and this is actually probably your strength, but you were super inconsistent with, were your flicks. So I know I was going to get you to rate me first, but your flicks are like easily 4 or 5 plus.
If I didn't hit them all into the tape.
Yeah, if you didn't hit every single one into the frickin' tape, yeah.
I know, it was bad.
But I could just tell it was just one of those days where you just couldn't get the height right. But had you got the height right, Jesus, man, you would have won us like probably a cumulative of 15 points off of flicks.
Maybe. And my best hardest one, by the way, the guy just returned easily. Remember?
Yeah. So that was ridiculous. That was an insane one.
Yeah. But, thanks. Okay, your flicks. I think your forehand flicks better than your backhand.
Way better.
So, which is not the case for me. I can do it forehand, but it's more of like a off speed, place it type flick. Mm-hmm. Whereas my backhand is more like a speed up, you know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, your flick's 4-0. You had some solid forehand ones, and then you actually had some good. You had a backhand flick that bodied somebody. So across court, hit the guy in the hip. Was going to be like 6 feet out, but that's okay. Yeah. You hit him.
Hey, dude, you just got sometimes, guys. The best place to hit the ball is right at them. I mean, it's just
true.
It works like that sometimes. All right, last one. Finally, we're at speed ups.
Oh, okay. I didn't really speed up. Okay, wait. We'll rate you first.
Yeah.
In the tournament or as a player? In the tournament?
Well, for this one, because we didn't have really many speed ups in the tournament. Let's just go as a whole.
Oh, boy. 2.5. No, I'm just kidding. It's kind of the same as your flex. It will be higher than that. Maybe 3.5. Yeah. Like, I could see the potentials there, but my God, you hit a lot into the net. And not like Jesus the top Christ. Of the net either. Like,
mid
the net.
Yeah, mid net.
And it wasn't necessarily that the stroke is so bad. It was just that's not the shot to speed up.
Yeah.
You know, you were often like in the middle, kind of leaning back, and then off your back foot, trying to like forehand flick back up the middle.
Yeah.
And just right through the net.
Yeah, not a smart play, really, either, guys. Yeah. So your speed ups, you didn't really. I can't even think of one time you sped up.
If you count the flicks, well, I remember I bodied that guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say if we use your flicks as an indicator of where your speed ups would go, and maybe just subtract a little bit, you probably like 4.0, 4.25. You know.
Yeah.
But I can tell you are not going for speed ups specifically because you wanted to work them at the kitchen, which is something we didn't do very much of in the tournament. So clearly we need to work on strategy. Strategy is probably the number one.
I told you my play style was Crafty Barbara.
Crafty Barbara.
I like to just try to pull the puppet strings at the kitchen, move some dinks around, and then, wait for you to kill a shot, basically. Not me.
Which was like kind of how it went.
On our good points.
For the most of the points we won, yeah. But overall, it was a great experience. And I'm so pissed off about it and how we played that I'm going to go play in a tournament this weekend. So
better record it. We'll be waiting for your lowlights.
Yeah, I should record it because I know every single person in the tournament.
Yeah,
so it won't be weird or uncomfortable or strange. And they all know that I make pickleball reviews. So
one last thing, now if we play together again, I think it'll be a little bit smoother. One of the main things was, Lewis thought I was slow. So he kept trying to cover for me. And I'm like, I'm there.
This boy's fast.
I'm there. Every time he's like stepping in front of me, I'm like, I'm here. But same can be said for you. You were always there too.
Yeah. I am, for the most part, significantly faster than all the partners that I've played with, for the most part.
Yeah.
And then for the remainder, I am a good bit faster than the partner that I play with. And then on a rare occasion, they're like equally as fast as me. So probably to my detriment, I'm used to having to cover more court than is necessary. It was probably like the second point of the game where they hit like a dink into the kitchen on your side, and I was about to run over to get it, and then you got it.
Yeah, no, it happened 2 points in a row, like when we first started playing, and then at the baseline, I was like, "Hey, I'm there,"
Yeah.
I know I said my playstyle is Crafty Barbara, but you gotta trust me, I'll get there.
I'm fast too. Yeah. And you were much more athletic than I was expecting, because like just the way you describe your gameplay, I didn't think you were gonna be like,
and how goofy I look.
As much of an athlete. Yeah, no, you don't look that goofy. No. Yeah, you're built like, dude. You're built like a Greek god,
Stick man. Oh.
Yeah. But anyway,
built like the dude from Hangman.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good, dude.
Okay, well,
yeah,
is that everything?
That's it, man. That's all we got.
We'll return to Nerdtown next week.
Beat in Houston.
Yeah, we did. In the games and by the tournament organization. That was rough. God, it's like tainted the whole experience for me. So that kind of sucks, but I had fun hanging out with you. With pen pals meeting up for the first time, pretty much.
I know. It wasn't awkward at all. Were you worried it was going to be awkward?
Nah, not at all. But
I told Justin the first night, I was like, "Hey, bro, I promise I won't kill you in your sleep if you promise not to kill me."
Yeah, we're sharing an Airbnb with basically a stranger. And I was just like, we'll see, honestly. We'll see how I feel.
Yeah, we'll see.
I have been watching a lot of Dexter, so.
Yeah, great show. All right, that's it. We're out.
All right.
Thank you for watching the Pickleball Pursuit podcast. We're going to jump back into Nerdtown next time. I'm your host, Lewis, with my co-host, Justin. We'll see you next time.